Kim here, so excited. Steve Kim Show episode number 195. The much anticipated March stats are in, and as usual, I got your numbers and your stats. Let's get right into it. So back in Toronto in February 2022, we had just over 3,200 sales against just over 2,700 active listings. Fast forward into March, we see both the number of sales and active listings go up. Sales to just over 3,900, just under 4,000, and active listings to just over 3,700. In York Region, what happened? Back in February 2022, we had just over 1,600 sales against just over 1,500 active listings. Fast forward into March, we see the number of sales jump to just over 1,900 and active listings jump to just over 2,200. So in a normal market, this is to be expected as we get into the spring market. We see more inventory come to market, both in active listings and new listings for the month of March 2022. Now, months of inventory, this is supply and demand. And don't forget, in a balanced market, we have around 4 to 5 months of inventory. And so back in February 2022, in Toronto, across all housing types, detached, semi-detached, townhomes, condos, etc., we were hovering around 0.9 months of inventory. And as we fast forward into March, not much of a difference, around 0.9 months of inventory. Now, as we get further into the spring, I do anticipate that months of inventory is going to creep up as more inventory comes to the market, and some buyers leaving the market because they're speculating in terms of what's going to happen over the course of the next 60 to 90 days in the real estate market. In York Region, what happened? Back in February 2022, we were hovering on 1 month of inventory. Fast forward into March 2022, creeps up just a little to 1.2 months of inventory. Now, sales price of the average property in Toronto back in February 2022 was hovering around $1.21 million. And again, this is a macro number across all housing types. Fast forward into March, it creeps up just a little bit to $1.218 million for the average property in Toronto. Well, in York Region, back in February 2022, the average property was trading around $1.587 million. And then in March 2022, this is interesting, it dropped just a little bit to now trading around $1.515 million. Now, sales price year over year, this is the number to pay attention to, because we know the month over month price changes can change drastically depending on the month, as well as and what housing type fueled a majority of those sales. So for instance, we could have a month where the sales price drops on the average property because lesser priced properties were selling more than the more expensive properties. So year over year price change for the average property in Toronto. The average property in Toronto back in March 2021 was trading on $1.082 million. And like I shared with you right now, is trading on $1.218 million. It's about a 12.5% increase year over year for the average property in Toronto. In York Region, what happened? That average property in York Region back in March 2021 was trading on $1.264 million. And like I shared with you now, is now trading around $1.515 million. That's an increase of 19.8% year over year for the average property in York Region. So some things to note is there were almost 11,000 Greater Toronto Area home sales reported in March 2022, capping off the third best March and second best quarter on record. Tight market conditions continue to support a double-digit annual pace of price growth, with an average selling price around $1.3 million. Now, the average selling price dipped slightly month over month, bucking the regular seasonal trend. Now, new listings were also down on a year-over-year basis, but by a much lesser annual rate than sales. This suggests that while market conditions remained very tight, home buyers did not experience the same level of competition from other buyers compared to a year earlier. Anyways, I hope you found these numbers and these stats useful. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to give me a call, send me a text, shoot me over a DM or an email. As always, be kind, everyone. Take care.